you really want to train that starter up, and you want to give them as much time back there as possible. But unfortunately, these last three playoff games, it's been a lot of in and out, a lot of,
Preseason games, yeah.
here and there. You just can't get you in. So
Yeah, my assessment is this: Tyler Shuck is your quarterback all the way up to the national anthem, in the sense that he's got all the height, weight, speed, arm strength. He just needs to process accuracy and get the ball out sooner. That's the key for we got to learn. And now, where does that end? Does that end as we don't know? Spencer Rattler, after looking at him for about a year and a half, I think he's a career backup at best. He will never quarterback a winning team as a starter, but he could maybe come in and do some spot duty, but he's not your future. So the question will be this: is he going to now? But I think Spencer Rattler is. You have a better chance of beating St. Louis in 2 weeks than Tyler Shuck. So the question is, do you take Spencer Rattler because he's got the best chance of beating St. Louis, or you start taking your lumps and see where Tyler Shuck is, and just sort of just throw him out there and see see if he's an NFL quarterback, because I think Tyler Shuck's got a higher ceiling and a lower floor. Rattler is probably, he's. I don't think his ceiling is higher. I think we've had a pretty decent sample size with him, and I think we're going to see who he is. I mean, he's just probably a good backup, but never a quarterback for a winning team. So we just got to see where you're going to go. I would suspect he's going to start Rattler and then see how he progresses. And eventually Shuck will be in there and he'll get his evaluation. So we'll.
you got to design your offense differently, right? You got two different quarterbacks. You got a Drew Brees, Derek Carr, drop back in the pocket quarterback. And Rattler is a running shoot, Kenny Stabler. I'm going to throw some interceptions, but I'm going to run around and make some first downs. Go long and take, turn left pass to Chevy right there on the big playground. And that kind of ball, and that's fun and exciting. But you got a great drive though, and he makes some stupid mistakes trying to make something happen. It depends on, if Coach Moore's got a offensive, especially the five guys up front blocking. If they're all got to be on the same page, then he's going to stick with a particular offense and design it around which quarterback in the game. He can run a play or two or whatever to let them create.
Yeah.
Different quarterbacks in terms of their skill set and their style of play.
Yeah. Now, if you think about the Saints roster, and the roster management has been deficient, and that's being kind. If you're the Green Bay Packers, or you're the Washington Redskins, or Detroit Lions, what player on the Saints roster could start for those teams? Probably maybe Eric McCoy, possibly. That's about it. Uh, so that maybe. Yeah. Well, that's one or two. I mean, really, if you reverse it, and you'd say, how many people on the Detroit Lions would you take over your present starters? You'd probably say 18 of them, 20 of them. So that's the bottom line, because what's going to make you a great coach is getting players in, and we'll that's just it's just going to take time, and that's why they're going to look at the waiver wire Tuesday, and they're going to walk into a couple of players locker and say, hey, you made the final 53, and they're going to come back in about 24 hours later and say, hey, we're going to let you go. We found somebody on waivers. So
I'm not crazy about this latest decision with the wide receivers in Denver, right? They just gave up 2 draft picks for a guy who played last year in the league. And so, and he was not even good enough to probably make the Denver starting roster because they were willing to
part with
trade
them,
him for
part with
a
them.
future draft pick.
Well, it's interesting. Yeah.
You certainly could find somebody just as good on waivers without having to give up the draft pick. Those are critical. Those are your future. Mortgaging your future now for a guy who, caught 30 passes last year.
Well, I guess we'll see in about 2 or 3 years if that's a good trade or not. Now, I'll look at it this way. I think the criticism is the value you gave up. Now, if he becomes a good player, and right, it's like buying Apple stock. Let's say you bought it at 20 and you sold it at 100. You made a profit. In this case, you might be buying the Apple stock at 65 and selling it at 100. On your best case scenario. So even though you might make money on it, you sure would have liked to have bought it for $20 as opposed to $65. And I think that's the way a lot of the fans are viewing this is we don't know, 40 catches for your first year is pretty good as a rookie. He's 6'5", he's your possession receiver. The Saints didn't have that, so the need was greater. So they were willing to give up more for that. But again, you sort of look at value, because ultimately, like the Green Bay Packers, who they draft on value, and so that's what.
You got to think there's some 6'5" possession receivers on waivers. Got to be 3 or 4, right? Every team is going to suspend something with 3 or 4 wide receivers. So you're going to have people out there that can fill that role for you possibly. If I see something in this guy that, obviously I have no clue because I don't
Yeah,
watch
right.
any of the Denver game here in New Orleans, um, but it's the kind of thing that makes me just concerned because it's somewhat of an unproven player that they're taking a chance on. But two draft picks, you can get a quality player that can walk right in and start for you after you get proven. But anyway.
So I mean, let's just the expectations are low. So therefore, anything above those expectations will be fun. So we're not. I think we're expecting maybe 4-13, 5-12 at best. Maybe six or seven wins would be a success. So since the expectations are low, we're not going in there thinking we're going to win. We'll be glad for a close game or seeing progress. So we're just in a different stage right now. I think about 6 years ago, 5 years ago, I wrote an article for WWL and was talking about the Drew Brees years. You better enjoy it. It's the glory years. We may never see this again in our lifetime. And that we talked about how the Miami Dolphins went through 20 some odd quarterbacks between Dan Marino, and they're still going through quarterbacks with Tua. But he could be. But my point being is this: is that we hope we don't have that with Drew Brees, and we've already gone through 6 or 7 quarterbacks. So it's just tough to find that franchise quarterback, and hopefully Shuck will develop and possibly be that guy. We won't know until probably January. So let's take a break. Ducks and Terry, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
20 years ago, New Orleans made it to the name. WWL. The IRS won't disappear on their own. They're holding your life hostage, wrecking your credit, your peace of mind, and your future. Hi, I'm Danielle with Go Tax Resolution. We specialize in resolving delinquent tax issues and will help protect your bank account, your wages, and your assets. Don't wait another day. Don't bury your head in the sand. Regain your life. Call us at 985-722-1040 or visit us at gotaxresolution.com. That's GEAUX taxresolution.com.
Collection, and that means more wage garnishment, bank levies, and aggressive action. Hi, I'm Caitlin with Go Tax Resolution. You owe back taxes. The time to act is now. Don't face the IRS alone. At Go Tax Resolution, we know how to protect your assets and your peace of mind. Call Go Tax Resolution at 985-722-1040 or visit gotaxresolution.com. That's GEAUX.
Industry is such a fun spot.
Can you stop at the bathroom?
Are you alright?
If you've had any stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stool.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency or EPI. Creon pancreatitis may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon may increase your chance of developing a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if the issue is intestinal blockage, scarring, or slipping of your bowel wall. If you are allergic to pork or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Tell your doctor if any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Creon is directed by your doctor unless with food. Do not treat capsulocysts that cause hospitalization. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, and sore throat and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-623-9110. Visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's creoninfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and Creon for help.
Get ready to refresh and renew your home at the Pontchartrain Home Show. Explore the latest products and cutting-edge ideas to tackle all of your home improvement projects. From modern kitchen makeovers to exclusive bathroom upgrades, plus stylish doors and energy-efficient windows. And don't miss Lightning Sun's Food Fest. Enjoy free samples and tastings of classical revamped flavors. You could even win $500 in groceries. Join us August 23rd and 24th for the Pontchartrain Home Show and the Lightning Sun Food Fest at the Pontchartrain Center.
Hi, this is Mark Roman. Jefferson Performing Arts proudly presents the world premiere of Our City of Saints, an original New Orleans musical. From paper bags in the AIDS era to dancing in the streets after Breeze brought home Barney home. This is your story. Join us at the Jefferson Performing Arts Center August 29th through 31st. For tickets, visit jpas.org. Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos. Fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Apply now and save with no application fee through September 3rd. Visit umgc.edu to get
WL and the shows you now. Viewers talking text line 504-260-1870.
All right, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. I'll be remiss to not reference LSU. They play Saturday night, 6:00. You can listen to it on WWL. And no, actually, we're going to go out of town somewhere else to watch the game. But we thought about going to Clemson. North Carolina, drive 3 hours to Clemson, and then so we decided to take it elsewhere to watch it. So we're going to go out of town, but you'll be on next week with the guest, and then the following 2 weeks we'll be off because the Saints play the first two games, and then we'll be back on, I believe, September 21st. So because the Saints, that was the other thing, yeah. We were going to take our youngest is in North Carolina. She's in Charlotte, and we were going. She's LSU grad, so we were going to go down with her, Michelle, and her boyfriend, and go to the game. But the cost of the tickets is the same as where we're going. You know, except we have 6 days. 5 days to enjoy the sunshine. So Albert will be on next week, and then we'll be off the following 2 weeks, and then we'll be on for the third NFL week number 3. The Saints play a 3 o'clock game. So now I do want to talk a little bit about this. This is a big story in New Orleans. Is the Mayor Cantrell from a legal perspective. The indictments, 18 of them. And I think we both each have had our own personal experiences with the mayor that have probably been negative. Is probably the being very, very kind. Um, as far as the charges are concerned, it's almost like robbing a bank and only taking $10. I mean, if you're going to rob a bank, you might as well get the big haul. And right. And but one of the things that in reading through the indictment was, how can I say this? Governor Edwards, bless his heart, used to be able to say things without saying things. And that's why he never got in trouble. In other words, he had plausible deniability in a lot of his interactions that maybe he was having a conversation that was being picked up on a bug. He would say something, the other person would hear it. They both knew what they meant, but if you read the words, you couldn't exactly get a out of it. And I was struck by how these charges are so self-inflicted, and what led up to it. Going back to 2022, when the mayor received multiple warnings from multiple people saying, "Hey, you've been burnt with these credit cards in the beginning of your campaign. People are looking at you. Why don't you pivot from what you're doing to get out of trouble?" Instead, she just went in head first. She doubled down. And which, I have to give credit to a lot of politicians who have walked in the gray area. The good ones know how to pivot, or the smart ones to pivot to stay out, or if they're in the gray area to get out. And this is the second out of 3 mayors that doubled down and going in the wrong direction. And I, yeah, that
and not running off to every convention and every, seminar all over the world. And so, if you're gonna do that and act that way, then and you don't deserve to fly first class. You don't deserve to, meet your girlfriend in city-owned apartment.
while he's getting paid, he's actually getting paid to service her. So yeah, it's just I think with um, the interactions that we've had, and I don't know, one time at City Hall at at a parade. I don't know if it was because of WWL, but it was a very petty, snarky interaction involving one of the Mardi Gras crews. I mean, it just really, really just petty is the best way I can put it. And it had no reason to be. And the second interaction was when we had a group from who were in the restaurant business, seafood business, and it's during COVID, and they were looking to try to get some concession to get open. And they said, and there were, all these restaurants, and you know this better than anybody, being the attorney for the Hospitality Foundation, that they were really sucking wind back in 2021, and when a lot of the rest of the nation was opening up, New Orleans wasn't, and these restaurants were just barely surviving, and they didn't have any business interruption insurance either to supplement them while they were down. And they were so desperate, and they said, "We're going to go talk to the mayor." And I said, "Oh, I don't think that's going to do you any good." But it's not going to do you any good. But and when they came back from the meeting with the mayor, they said they never saw a more ignorant, arrogant individual in their entire life. The interaction was so bad, and which she left with them. And I don't want to go into which a lot of what was said or was said and wasn't said, or the demeanor she had toward them. It was very hostile. It was very adversarial, and which and and one of the things that took the group back was, she said, "Why don't you just operate at 25% capacity and you'll be fine?" And what they tried to explain to her is, if we have 25% revenues, our rent's still 100%, our costs are 100%, our insurance is 100%, our fixed expenses are 100%, and we have 25% revenues. That's not going to work. And I explained that to her. And she, in so many words, gave him the middle finger and said to deal with it. So, when the group came back, they said, "You were right." That was worse than an exercise in futility. But that was the general attitude, business, to the issues regarding, if you can't have trash pickup in 8 years figured out as a mayor, when are you going to figure it out? And I know.
and will do anything they can to sacrifice it.
Yes. Yeah, I saw it working on a case with Desiree Charbonnet, and she says, "You don't know how many times I get told." Yeah, and she's I think she's pretty glad she's not the mayor. So let's go to. That's right. That's all right. There, she would have been fantastic. Let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
All things legal, live from our Gulf Coast Bank and Trust Company studios. The bank that cares about you. Listen to the WWL shows you love and the local content you crave on the TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and Odyssey apps. 20 years ago, an unwelcome visitor came to New Orleans in the Gulf South. The levee broke, but the spirit of her people stood strong. The Katrina story is your story, our story, New Orleans story, and it all played out here.
Is Harry still on? Harry's still on?
On the anniversary,
Yes, I like it. I like it. Conspiracy, huh? Yeah, let's spice it up. I have something for him.
This Labor Day weekend, we're celebrating Bob's discount for 200. We brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations. Not to mention free treats for the whole family from our cafes. Celebrate Bob's discount furniture's 200 store milestone this Labor Day weekend.
are you a business owner? No sense. Literally. Focus on the pieces of building your business. The accounting services unlimited and the Hi, this is Thomas Fonte. Accounting services unlimited is insanely affordable and will come to you. Call for a free quote. Accounting services unlimited. Bye. Now it's time to prepare an estate plan. So where do you turn? The last thing you should do is go to some online will and trust service for a cookie. Estate plan trying to share your intentions, ask questions, and obtain advice. This is Albert Nicaud of the Nicaud Simpson Law Firm in Metairie. I've been providing clients with estate planning advice and preparing wills and trusts for over 35 years. When you're ready to plan your estate, call me at 504-837-1304.
This Health Awareness Update is brought to you by Primary Care Funds. August is National Wellness Month, which focuses on practices like stress management, self-care, implementing healthy routines, and improving your overall health and wellness. National Wellness Month celebrates all the different types of health and healthcare, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. If we are going to do big things in the world, we need to take care of ourselves too. This Health Awareness Update is brought to you by Primary Care Plus, 12 locations in Southern Louisiana. Primary Care Plus, your doctors for life.
Time is running out. Only days remain to wipe it.
12 locations
/no late fees. Pay your original ticket in full through interest-free monthly payments. No extra late charges. Continue ignoring these tickets, and you could face collection, a boot, or even a tow. Not sure? Don't think you have any outstanding tickets? Check anyway. Late fees are back September 1st. Go to NOLA.gov/no late fees now.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you to come. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over plus and 5-star reviews on Google, and an A+ with a Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmares today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's all things legal on WWL and streaming live on the Odyssey, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio apps. So with Doug Sunseri or Albert Nicaud, call our office at 504-837-1304. Or connect now on the Open Heart Jewelers Talk and Tax line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, you weekend lawyers. Well, I guess we'll see if there'll be second lining in a federal pen somewhere in North Louisiana. Who knows? Who knows? Let's go to phone line. Let's go to Harry. I think this is the first time Harry's calling us, but I've heard Harry on the other shows. Hey, Harry, you on all things legal. Hey, brother, what's going on? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, here's what I'll say in response. Have other politicians done worse and not get indicted? Absolutely, or not, and skated away from it. Cleo Fields, 50, money in the freezer. I mean, we've seen all that. I think basically we all agree on is local politics is not. Potholes isn't a Republican Democrat issue. It should not be a Republican, Democrat issue. Uh, it is this. Well, I think some people but it's really not when it comes down to it. Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is not whether they get indicted or not. The issues themselves. Okay, people label it, but everybody wants safe streets. Everyone wants streets without potholes. Everyone wants garbage pickup. Everyone wants to have a prosperous businesses in. That's not. Um, and I think Nye is she had the opportunity to get out the gray area. She had the opportunity where she was warned that this behavior may get you in trouble, and she doubled down. And so, whether it's a Republican, Democratic administration, she caused it herself because she had a forewarning not to do this. She had forewarning to modify her behavior and take it in a different direction, and she didn't. She just doubled down, gave the middle finger to everyone, and said, I'm going to do it anyway. And to say it's based on, I don't agree who caused this. Just simply, just heeded a couple of warnings and probably spent a little more time dealing with the issues we all want to deal with. Is increasing the business, the corporate base to to. Well, yeah, here's the deal. We all get caught speeding. Okay, we all get caught speeding on the interstate. When I get pulled over on the causeway for going 72 or whatever, which happens occasionally, I can't go in there and tell the cop that or the police officer that everybody else was going 72. I mean, you ultimately, sometimes they get away with it. Sometimes the guy going 80 miles an hour gets away with it and he doesn't get ticketed. And ultimately, sometimes you do get away with it, but that doesn't justify when you're doing it. And I think the ignorance of this situation and the arrogance is she was warned for 3 years not to do this, and she still did it. You could have been a little more discreet about it. And I mean, there's all kinds of different implications to it. Some people say she was a married woman at the time, which is not illegal, but it sure does smell. So, again, um, she's ultimately responsible. And I don't put it on a Democratic or Republican. I think this is squarely on her, on the mayor. And if she could have pivoted out of this behavior 3 years ago, and she would have been fine. So I tell you what, let's go to a quick break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
WWL shows you love delivered to your phone free. Download the Odyssey app and follow your favorites. Bonnie Bear, Mike Detillier, Steve Geller. Listen when you want, how you want. Or tell your smart speaker, play WWL. Keep it locked on WWL for breaking sports news. Powered by BetMGM. Smarter bets start with BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app or visit BetMGM.com today. WWL is proudly sponsored by Dudley Deposure Injury Lawyers. Call 444-4444. Never take suspicious. Check out the lawyers. Markets may be unpredictable, but your cleaning service shouldn't be. At Jamie Clean, the King of Cleaning, we work with you to build custom cleaning programs that fit your facility and your budget. Our local franchise owners deliver reliable, hands-on service backed by regional support, so you get flexibility, consistency, and peace of mind.
Want to make a real difference in your community? Donate to Goodwill Industries of Southeastern Louisiana today. Through gently used clothing, furniture, and household items, do more than just declutter your home. They help people right here in our region find meaningful work. Through job training, education, and workforce development programs, Goodwill empowers individuals to build brighter futures. It all starts with your donation. Goodwill Industries of Southeastern Louisiana. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Game day men's health, regain energy, confidence. Health Shore.
Get cash for back to school. Sell your gold or silver at Southern Coins and Precious Metals. Reliable high-speed fiber internet with a 90-day guarantee. That's red.com.
Find complete WWL contact rules at wwl.com/rules. Gain a global perspective from special.
I agree, that no one would give a shit whether she was banging a cop if she did a bang-up job with the city.
Choose from MBA specializations in global business, marketing, HR, finance, and more. No application fee if you apply by September 3rd. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Shell.
This Labor Day weekend, we're celebrating
Making streets safe, law enforcement, no potholes, garbage pickup, cultural economy, and a thriving city.
That's why we brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations. Free treats.
Okay. Is it Cedric or Clyde? Okay. All right. Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We've got a couple of minutes before the break. Let's go to Cedric. What do you got for us, Cedric? Good, good. All right, there you go. I think issues. Biden did that. Neglected the city. And we don't want to be, and we don't want to be paying. Yeah, we don't want to be paying a police officer to service her either. I mean, he's on the clock. So I mean, you could do that in his private time, but and it's not about. Look, I always say, safe streets, no potholes, law enforcement, educating your students locally. It's not Republican and Democrat. It's all it's everybody wants that, and it's people who do that make it about that is it's not right. But let's go to we're going to national news, local news. We'll be back for hour number 2 and all things legal. We'll probably talk law this next hour. So we'll see you in 10 minutes.
An Odyssey station. It's CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Stacey Lynn. President Trump has already deployed thousands of National Guard troops to the D.C. streets in an effort to combat crime. Now he's looking at doing the same in Chicago.
African American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago.
But Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul is not on board.
The military being turned against American citizens on American soil is really, with no exaggeration, a sign of authoritarianism. It's just unheard of with regards to the laws of our country and the spirit of what makes our country a great country.
This woman in D.C. was out yesterday protesting the troops in the nation's capital.
Not only are our lives on the line, but it's the young people who I'm really concerned about.
Defense officials announced Friday troops will now carry weapons and are allowed to perform police duties. The Texas legislature has approved a plan to redraw the state's congressional map. CBS's Christiane Benavides reports it's designed to give Republicans an additional 5 seats during next year's midterm election.
President Trump celebrated the vote, calling it a huge victory for our America First agenda. But Democrats in Texas plan to challenge the legality of the law, saying it dilutes the voting power of minorities. And in California, Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom is now pushing a plan to redraw its own map to favor Democrats.
A new poll found 48% of Californians back that plan, 32% oppose it. So will other states follow suit? House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries told CNN.
House Democrats are going to respond from coast to coast and at all points in between, as has been done in California, forcefully, immediately, and appropriately to make sure that Donald Trump cannot steal the midterm elections.
When asked if there's a plan in his state, New York, he said there's a plan to respond appropriately there and in other parts of the country as the circumstances dictate. Well, it all comes down to 2 teams today vying for a big title in a little league.
In 96.
Teams have identified multiple shipments of the lookalikes from China known as La Fufus. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the fakes can break apart easily and are small enough for a child to potentially choke on. So how do you spot a fake? Real Labubus have 9 teeth and imposters have 10. This is CBS and
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A couple years ago, I was in the bathroom at the airport when I dropped my smartphone in the toilet. Not smart. I was multitasking when I should have been focused on the job at hand. Embarrassing, but I'm not alone. No, come on. I was multitasking here. A gentle reminder that right now you can get yourself a brand new Samsung Galaxy A36 absolutely free with a $35 plan from Pure Talk. The A36 comes with scratch-resistant Gorilla Glass and a battery that'll last all day, along with unlimited talk, text, and data on America's most dependable 5G network. In other words, it's tough and smart. Something to think about next time you're multitasking if necessary. Just dial pound 250, say keyword Mike Rowe to get your free phone today. You can make the switch in just 10 minutes. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe to switch to a no-nonsense smartphone and a company that actually stands for something.
WWL First. I'm Dave Cohen. I'm your official weather station. WWL.
Happy Sunday. It's going to be a beautiful day today with lots of sunshine and it will feel less muggy. It's still going to be hot with high temperatures in the low to mid 90s this afternoon. Tonight, expect mostly clear skies with temperatures falling to the 70s. So, it's still going to be with hot temperature in the this afternoon.
Still working. After Friday's massive explosion of deep fire at motor oil and lubricant processing facility. Welcome WWL TV's Lily Cummings.
Civil officials are now saying that the fire at Canadian supply plant is 90% contained. Flames have been raging at the plant since Friday afternoon after an initial explosion. Officials say they're not due to the fire, but dozens of residents who live within a mile of the plant are still displaced. Scientists worry that the fire has jumped into the tank.
Oh no, yeah, that's fine. Oh no, I like I don't need everybody to agree with me to to be validated. Yeah. Is Clyde still on? Yeah. Yeah. You know what I think. I think if the city was like rocking and rolling, business was coming in, the streets were cleaned up, garbage pickup was picked up, business was coming here. I don't think people would care if she banging a cop or not. I mean, but if the city's going to hell and you doing that, you're more likely to be indicted. It's just the human factor in it.
What do you mean? Let's say that I have to have 9 offensive linemen because I have so many that are banged up and hurt.
News projected multiple outside moves for the Saints ahead of Tuesday's roster cut deadline. Stay tuned to any updates on WWL, covering all WWL sports.
The cleanup, restoration, and construction forecast on WWL.
Expect really nice weather the rest of your weekend. You feel less humid outside as a cold front moves in. Still going to be hot, but we'll take it. Less humid, looking good today. High temperatures will heat up into the low to mid-90s.
Winston Churchill stated the greatest argument against democracy is a 5-minute conversation with the typical voter.
Sunshine, it'll be hot, but less muggy with temperatures in the 90s. It looks like mainly dry this week with only a small chance for an isolated shower or two this week. From WWL Louisiana, meteorologist Alexa Chrysler.
9-day film. WWL. From WWL, News Talk Sports Powerhouse at the Gulf South. It's all things legal with Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm and the Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line 504-260-1870 or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, live from our Gulf Coast Bank and Trust Company studios, the bank that cares about you. Here's Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, we're back for hour number 2. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal until 10 o'clock. We'll be on next week, Labor Day weekend. Albert will be on with guests, and I will be out of town. But I have people stay in my house, so they'll take you out if you come while I'm out of town. But we'll be out of town, and the following 2 weeks after that, we'll be off. The Saints will be playing opening game against St. Louis in their second game, and then September 21st, I believe, they will have a 3:00 game, so we'll be on for then. Also, before we get to Clyde, I'd be remiss to say that next week, the LSU Clemson game will be much like the LSU Texas game for 2019. Because if LSU beats Clemson, I think it'll set the tone, much like the LSU Texas game in 2019 set the tone for the season for when LSU won the national championship. So we'll see. I think everybody's Clemson's a 3.5-point favorite, which means they're probably on a neutral field. They would be a picket. So we'll see. We just this is a national championship or bust, or at least the playoffs a bust for this year because they're all in. They put all the chips on the table with the transfer portal for this year. Quarterback, it's this year or maybe not for a while. So there you go. All right, let's go to the phone line. Let's go to Clyde. Clyde's got some comments about what we were talking about last hour. Hey, Clyde, you on All Things Legal. What you got for us, brother? Dude, no, we have a full house. We have a full house there, so don't think about it. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Well, I guess with the recall, the bar was just too high. One of the things, and I don't know the stats, but I'll just say generally, this voter turnout was so low for both for the mayor election, especially 8 years ago, that maybe 70% of the people didn't vote. So yeah, that's what yeah. And so therefore, but the recall petition's based on registered voters and a percentage of that. So you sort of had a disparity as to reaching that because you just didn't have enough. And a lot of the problem was a lot of the voters on the rolls were had moved out and or were deceased, and that was another issue during that time period is register of voters did nothing to maintain those voter rolls. So you didn't really have an accurate count as to actual registered voters in our Orange Parish, which is sort of parse and parcel with how the parish is generally run. And so it was sort of a train wreck all the way around. But again, the whole point was we elected a mayor, and local politics is not partisan. And what makes great mayors are the things that you don't notice when it's going well. When you have garbage pickup, when you have streets without potholes, when you have, businesses that are, or a friendly business environment. That's, that's what, safe streets. That's, if a good mayor is almost like a referee in the sense that if you go to a football game and you don't notice the referee, it means they're doing their job. And I mean, she just blew it. And she set the city back probably about 30 years, unfortunately. So it is what it is, and hopefully the next one will has a lot of cleanup work to do, and we'll just be a cheerleader and just we have a lot to work with in New Orleans. We have a great cultural economy. We have a unique culture. We have we got lakes, we got rivers, we got commerce. Hopefully they can tie it together, and we sort of look it up. But there you go. Um, who we have? Let's see. We have anybody else on the? We got Jay, right? We got Jay in the line. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Jay. He's got a question. He's got a comment also. Hey, what you got? Good. Hey, man, it's good to hear from you, Jay. Well, I mean, is he responsible for the potholes? Is he responsible for garbage pickup? Is he responsible for chasing businesses away from the city of New Orleans? Is he responsible for criminals running around terrorizing the city for all this time? Yeah. Oh well, yeah. It's. Hey, it's a deflection. I mean, when it comes to New Orleans, I mean, it's a WWL. We're about New Orleans, and we go back to the same basic things. I think if you just made the streets safe, we would put up with the rest. We really would, and maybe occasional garbage pickup. But hopefully in a couple of months, we turn a corner, and we'll get new leadership and stay hopeful. So. Uh, That's all we got to say for that. Thanks, Jay. Thanks for the call. Good to hear from you. Let's go to Sam. He's got a legal question. Hey, Sam, you on all things legal? No, 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 no. No. We got the Caddyshack behind our office, so that's we are with a high class crowd. We're in a high class crowd.
still coming back to the original question, if both the defensive line and decide, well, no, we're going to take this out. So we'll take that out. They're going to absolutely. So there is a form, right? And if the referendum is going, if the realtors know all and all these different groups that prepare, you can go online again. Just for the audience's purposes, a specific performance provision basically says that if you make an offer, we agree on a price and all its terms, and you don't show up for the closing, I can demand specific performance, meaning that you have to sell the property to me, or if you're on the other side, I get to buy the property from you, or I have to buy it from you, vice versa, depending on who wants to enforce that provision, right? That provision can be taken out. The attorney's fee provision, the 10% penalty, the inspection period can be extended. It's not chiseled in stone. It can be modified by any time for any reason. It just has to be in writing. Yeah, because I've stood up before, and it looks like, more like this when we grew up there. When the potential buyer, then declining my offer, so to speak. But that's not good. No, if I look around other properties and start, let's look at this house again, right? But you set the deal on that because I said, I want the potential buyer and me to define that specific line. The other thing she said too that raises my incentive is that I had an 8-year awful, and she couldn't get in touch with me. I was running down, and she scolded me for not responding right away. And she said, well, by law, you have to respond within 24 hours. Otherwise, my real estate license is the devil. If the other side says, look, we don't want to get rid of a specific performance provision, then you can say, okay, we don't have a deal, and you walk away. You don't have a deal, so you're not still hanging around waiting for them to come up with an alternative. They can, but they don't have to. Same thing with the inspection. You go through, you find the inspection, and say, you had a water leak 5 years ago, and worried about a water leak. I don't want to go forward with the sale of the and they're realize that they've got to do it with inspection field. They've got to respond, and you go back and forth and negotiate. So it's very timely and time-driven because you want to try to be a closing date, and so you don't want somebody to say, okay, look, I'll take $5,000 off the price and leave it open for 3 months, right? And the property sits in the market where they put a strict deadline on it. Look, we want you to respond within 24 hours. If you don't, then it will work out. I can walk away and market it for sale. So, if you lose the license,
No. All right, let's go. All right, Sam, my man, let's go to break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, Weekend Lawyers. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Guy just brought the juice, man. Did you see the hoot ass for a game? Yeah. He just fired up. And the crowd was not. You needed someone to go out there and really get after it to get them fired up. He did. And, he got the game. And that's the Clyde I remember. That's the Clyde that was a first-round pick at LSU. Like, he's not getting tackled by just one dude.
Follow Inside Black and Gold on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
On Tuesday, August the 26th, it's FanDuel Futures Day, a new holiday for football fans. It's 24 hours of deals on all your football season predictions. So take a flyer on the MVP race. I'm going with Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. or crown your champion in August. I think finally the Baltimore Ravens are going to get it done to win the Super Bowl. Or parlay your division winner, dark horses. Mark your calendars. This is your day for your hunches, your hot takes, your calls, and your odds. A new holiday for football fans. It's 24 hours of deals on all your football season predictions. Visit the fan.
Parishes only. If you want help, call 1-877-770-7867.
Works with Greek. Magazine Street is such a fun spot. Can we stop at a bathroom? Are you alright? I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools. Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon estrogen covers no irritable tell you about this is going up in the body. Gastrointestinal reaction. Take turns directed by the these are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 863-9110. Visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's creoninfo.com.
I have something out there about EPI and the Creon can help. The IRS is more aggressive than ever. Any tax problems, this is on their own. They're holding your life hostage, wrecking your credit, your peace of mind, and your future. Hi, I'm Danielle with Go Tax Resolution. We specialize in resolving delinquent tax issues and will help protect your bank account, your wages, and your assets. Don't wait another day. Don't bury your head in the sand. Regain your life. Call us at 905-722-1040 or visit us at gotaxresolution.com. That's GEAUX taxresolution.com.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and that means more wage garnishment, bank levies, and aggressive action. Hi, I'm Caitlin with Go Tax Resolution. You owe taxes. The time to act is now. Don't fake. GoTaxResolution.com. That's GEAUX taxresolution.com.
Out of the bedroom, Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Galafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you get out what you need to bring things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy. You got your free online method. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, shoes, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy rush. Just fill out a simple intake form, and a licensed medical provider will determine the treatment right for you. If prescribed, it's free and gets ready to go. Back to the Joey's Albert Nicaud. The Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Well, stream all things legal in our time shipping podcast on Odyssey, TuneIn, and now on the iHeartRadio app. Or connect now on the open dealer and talk text line 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. All right, go Tigers. You know, you're talking about going away, you know, the Clemson game. Probably the away game to go to this year will be Vanderbilt in Nashville. Tickets will be tickets, you know, will probably not be too hard to get. And Nashville is just everything that New Orleans could be, Nashville is now, as far as economic development and, you know, sort of just booming. Great town. So that's probably your destination if you want to take a. Well, no, the LSU. No, the Saint. I mean, LSU plays October. Yeah, October 17th, I think they play, and it's mid-October, so it's great. Yes, the Saints game would be that'd be well there. Yeah, that would be Tennessee. That's right. I think the Fed chair has finally announced that there's going to be lowering interest rates. Which what I think is going to happen is when the interest rates drop, and I'm sure they are in the next couple of years, there's going to be a big pent up demand for buying and selling property because a lot of people hadn't been able who want new homes aren't able to buy new homes because high interest rates, but they're probably pretty close. And a lot of times when you have these slowdowns like we have now, when you do have a more favorable environment, there's pent up demand, and it's going to it'll sort of Three percent was an anomaly. Huh. Yeah. 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 Well, and I think my point being is I think activity is going to probably tick up in the next couple of years. And you were talking about the real estate agreements and, basically a situation where maybe you had a realtor who maybe, as you said, was maybe trying to close the deal rather is probably the most important aspect. And we had a situation we just resolved where, and I sort of put this one on the real estate agent a little bit, is because the seller wanted repairs to be done prior to the sale. And it was, typically sometimes you have to get the roof repaired because for the FHA loan, but these were not repairs that were required by the lending company. Yeah, and what had happened was, you had to repair some windows, you had to do some doors, and then they went through the sale, and then there was a dispute as to what was the scope of the repairs. Was the repairs windows supposed to be replaced? Were they supposed to be repaired? And I think when we sort of dug into it, we were asking real estate agents, why didn't you just, instead of having a specific performance as a precondition to the sale, why didn't you just reduce the price according to the repairs and let the buyer deal with the repairs? So in other words, and I think mm-hmm. Right. I think the problem was defining, the scope of work and so, which to me, I think a lot of these transactions, I like, simple's probably better rather than, if the precondition would be just, you know, reduce the price by X and you're responsible for the repair rather than doing it yourself. It sort of makes it a lot easier. But you talk. One thing I want to ask you. Yeah. But a lot of the now let's talk a little bit about this. In a agreement, purchase agreement. Just talk a little bit about the inspection period. How does that work? And what is the purpose of the inspection period? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
someone may do a full-blown inspection on the units. So, these days, they're about $17,000 with the new, 2-speed units, with the new clear rating and the new freon and everything else that they're requiring. It's gotten very, very expensive. So it's worth a couple $100 if you really want to kind of have the HVAC stuff.
So,
Anyway, so we will go through that inspection, and if there are any real problems with the inspection, then you go to your agent and say, okay, I have an exception here, and I want these things done. And here's what it is, and I want this paid for, I want you to have this done before I'm out of house. So then they'll come back and say, okay, we'll do X, Y, Z within this amount of days. We need to extend the closing because we need another 20 days to get the enforcement, et cetera. And then, or, hey, look, it's going to cost X, this unit's 20 years old, so we may take 15 grand off.
right.
And so,
That's negotiated that then. All right, let's go to a break. That's Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Center. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Our needs are different. Big wireless one. If you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/back and receive $5 credit for automatic for additional facts.
The heat is on. Outside, which means the AC is on inside. So Sunny call Nash in there, let them check the system to make sure it's operating dependably and efficiently. You don't get caught up in a supply chain jam up where the AC goes out and you're sweating your beans off waiting for a part to come in. Nash is family owned and operated, been serving the greater New Orleans area for over 50 years. You know you can trust Nash. Make sure you can trust 504-835-4440 or go to NashAC.com.
Are you a business owner doing your own bookkeeping? Why? It makes no sense, literally. Focus on what you do well, like building your business, and let Accounting Services Unlimited handle your bookkeeping. Hi, this is Thomas Fonte. Accounting Services Unlimited is insanely affordable and will come to you. Call for a free quote. Accounting Services Unlimited, 504-717-6253. That's 717-6253. Visit ASU.LLC.com.
GiveMeTheVin.com, big cash giveaway. I hate games and scams. So when we had the idea to give away $25,000, I was very careful about the way it was orchestrated. Get the top of the market money and enter to be the lucky person to get $25,000. This is no joke. This is no game. This is very real. Just like GiveMeTheVin.com. They work as necessary. So official rules go to GiveMeTheVin.com. Sell out your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy to do it and you're underwear. Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to know. Spencer Callahan is one to see. Call 475-2323. LA 1670 actual cultural event. Subscription plan feature products are compounded for dollars. Since the FDA does not approve of 35% fee.
Again, Calico for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine the treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Well, the shows you love on Odyssey, 500 video and 2 apps. Or join us on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talking Text Line, 504-260-1870.
All right, we're back. Thanks to Coleman and Master Control for keeping us on time and keeping us thematic here. So thanks, Coleman. Appreciate all your hard work. Real quick, Albert, real estate contracts. Just some basics on it. Let's say you're getting a loan and you hadn't been approved for the loan when you signed the agreement. Is there a provision we're saying if you can't get financing, you're able to step out of the contract? Okay. Yes.
things you have to be perspective is how you survive. And there are a million different degrees of knowledge that they show in their life, right? You know, they have termites. I don't know. They might be behind the walls, and so I don't know if there's termites or not. So, if you they would discover that, a termite contractor went in there and it was wood destroying wood that and they're wild active termites, and you can't tell that they run anything to eradicate them, then all of a sudden you'll have a cause of action. And in addition, you say they need it to be tested there. So that's why those disclosures are very, very important. It needs to be done honestly, because if you know that you can, you stay over what the mold and mildew and cracks and the roots remove, if you can be able to stay clearly, there was a problem before that they painted over a bunch of the material and the roof until the years because everything around was rotted. So, that's one of the things that has this farm is important because you buy it as is, and then the only way that changes is if you can actually prove that the owner knew of the defect and built it. This recently, we just put a roof on, 6 months ago, and you find out that they put a roof on 5 years ago. Well,
Yeah.
that's a material representation.
So, all right, that's it. Yeah, and that is, we see a lot of that in our office. All right, let's go to our final break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. We'll be right back after a brief timeout.
WWL is proudly sponsored by Gunley Devotion Injury Lawyers. Call 444-4444. Do you have constant clogs or smells coming from your plumbing? If your house was built before 1975, you may have cast iron or steel pipes that need to be replaced. There's no need to tear up your house or yard to fix the problem. Surtees Heating, Cooling, Electrical, and Plumbing can video your pipes to see what's causing the issue. Once we diagnose the problem, we can provide trenchless repiping options that don't treat your house. Do you suffer from lack of motivation or has your energy faded? Game Day Men's Health is here to bring back your edge. Our TRT treatments restore vitality, boost energy, and keep your drive strong in the gym, at work, and everywhere. Book your appointment today at GameDayMen's.com, located on the North Shore in Mandeville and on the South Shore in Metairie. Regain your energy and confidence at Game Day Men's Health.
Get ready to refresh and renew your home at the Pontchartrain Home Show. Explore the latest products and cutting-edge ideas to tackle all of your home improvement projects. From modern kitchen makeovers to exquisite bathroom upgrades, plus stylish doors and energy-efficient windows. And don't miss Lionsgate Food Fest. Enjoy free samples and tastings of classic Louisiana flavors. You could even win $500 in groceries. Join us August 23rd and 24th for the Pontchartrain Home Show and Lionsgate Food Fest at the Pontchartrain Center. Buy happy, drive happy with Kia of Covington, home of lifetime oil changes. KiaofCovington.com.
Try these small sliders. The best sliders, sliders, and go big. Small. And now on. You know who we are.
How much time we're going to have? Nice. Okay, we'll get in now. Okay, I'll jump in and out.
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter.
Gotcha.
What's that site?
Deal.
Hey, we're back. If you have any questions, you can call us at our law firm at 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304 on North Shore, 985-624-9697. Albert, got about a minute to go. Any send-off?
Even with the Saints, yeah, I'm gonna watch it. You know, and LSU is gonna be fun. We'll be back. Definitely from used to be my associate and my new partner. He and I will be on next Sunday. We'll talk to you then.
That's right. All right. So y'all have a great week, and we'll see you all things legal next week. And be good. Thanks, Coleman.